Breaking news in the hunt for fugitive Brian Laundrie. It has been 18 days since the fiancee of homicide victim Gabby Petito was officially reported missing. And Dog the Bounty Hunter is here with the latest on his tireless search. But first, while Brian has only been charged for illegally using a debit card, he is a person of interest in Gabby's disappearance. Authorities have released new body cam footage from the aftermath of an alleged physical altercation that occurred between Brian and Gabby in Utah just weeks before she was killed. It is so difficult to watch Gabby describe the way she says Brian grabbed her face. Now, I'm sure authorities have a lot of follow-up questions about what happened in this incident and about what may have led to Gabby's death, which is why Brian Laundrie is the subject of this massive manhunt right now. Now, in addition to the FBI, Dog the Bounty Hunter has been attempting to track Brian down. He joins us now. So, Dog, your hunt is bringing a lot of attention to this case. Pete Davidson actually played you on Saturday Night Live's season premiere over the weekend. A plane flew over your search in Florida with the banner "Aloha, Brian Laundrie" from Dog, which again, I know that you said it's not from you, but when you saw that, what did you think? And what is the latest on your hunt?
Well,
and you think he saw it?
Well, I saw the banner flying over and it excited me. And I do hope he saw it. I'm sure if he didn't see it, he's heard about it. So the investigation over the weekend, we found a primitive makeshift camp. And so we collected some items around the camp and have turned them over as of yesterday to the FBI. And we're now working in, you can't say, Dr. Oz, in conjunction with, but we are, how do I say it politely for the FBI? We're sharing different leads now with the FBI and the local authorities. So we felt very positive about this, again, makeshift camp. And the hunt continues. What I like to give credit to is the volunteers, Dr. Oz. We've got a lot of ex-military, ex-FBI, now search dogs that are incredible. And we've got maybe 10 or 12 volunteers. We've got 3 boats. We got an airboat. There are just people coming out from everywhere offering their assistance. So in this area right now, absolutely the hunt is still continuing. And the reason, I don't mean to talk more than you do, but the reason that we keep continuing is the leads we're getting from this area. And like you said, we found out that the mom and dad did see him and took him to a specific campground. And then the sister was on, I guess, Good Morning America. Oh, I haven't seen him since he got back. Oh, yes, you have. She was down there also with the whole family. So, if I would title this, it would be a family affair. So someone in that family may not know exactly where he's standing, or I don't know right where he is right now. No, but the vicinity he is in on.
Much of the search for Brian is focused on Florida, and you're pursuing it there. But early on, you said that it's possible he's now hiding on the Appalachian Trail. Now, on Saturday, just to bring everyone up to speed, a hiker came forward who says he's positive he encountered Brian after he listened to a recording of the fugitive's voice sent to him by your daughter. So what's the latest on his tip?
Well, there's a lot of false tips in the beginning that started with the Appalachian Trail in those mountains. And now, there's still some coming in. But say, for instance, one tip had a picture of Brian, had him up there. We digged into, baby Lisa and Francie dug into who that guy was. And lo and behold, he went to high school with Brian. He's in Brian's yearbook. So there's a lot of fake things coming out to either lead us away from this area. So we're culling all the leads today. We've got almost 3,000 calls. About a half of them are leads and about a quarter of them are good. So we're getting bad leads to get us away as we're getting also good leads.
I'm stunned that acquaintances would try to hide him after what we think happened in the West. I get shivers. And we talked about this last week where you mentioned that 50% of the time the family will protect a fugitive even when they know he's guilty, because if they're worried he's going to go get the death penalty, which might happen to to Brian, then that'd be a problem. Anyway, you mentioned this earlier. I'm going to bring it up again. According to this new report, Brian's sister, Cassie, originally told media she didn't speak to her brother after he returned to Florida, as you pointed out, right? Comes back home, never saw him. Well, and Gabby disappeared because she didn't speak to him after that. She wouldn't know much about it. But now the Laundrie's attorney says that Cassie spent the day with her family at the campground, the one that you've been searching. Now, you helped figure out that Cassie had been at the campground. Have you made contact with any of Brian's family since your first attempt when you knocked on the door? And what would you ask them right now if you could? And there's a pretty good chance they're watching this broadcast, so maybe you want to ask them in front of everybody.
Well, I'd ask to, I'll keep it off the record. I don't have to report it, but I'd ask one of the family members, it's about time now. Let's give us a lead. Tell us where he's at. He's going to come in alive. I haven't made any contact with family members because they're just that, family members. I knocked on the father's door. I wanted to have a dad-to-dad talk, and the mother called the police on me. So, I didn't harass. And once, as you know, Dr. Oz, you're asked not to come up there, you go again, it's harassment. So we got to really watch it that we're not the ones breaking the law. I know somewhere someone knows the vicinity that he's in. We have had now a lot of people call us offering huge cash rewards. So we've got some people that have promised, if someone tells you, dog, you let us know and we'll send you some money so you can pay them for the information. So, kind of today now, we'd like to announce that there is a huge cash reward for information leading to the whereabouts of Brian. And some of it, usually cash reward is leading to the arrest or leading to the conviction. This cash reward is put out by us, and we just need a hint. Where is he? What vicinity is he in?
And meanwhile, and just going to put this out there, Brian's parents have said that they're worried for the safety of their son. And the attorney, as you know, released a statement recently saying the speculation by the public and some in the press that the parents assisted Brian in leaving the family home or in avoiding arrest on a warrant that was issued after Brian had already been missing for several days is just wrong. Now, later he said that law enforcement is, I'm going to quote him, well aware that Brian's sister saw him on September 1st and 6th, and that any prior communication by Cassie that does not reflect these dates is simply a difference of relating an answer to a question misinterpreted by Cassie or poorly posed by the Inquirer. I mean, this is like gobbledygook, and basically they're saying that it was an honest mistake if that's not what she said. All right, up next. If Brian's alive, does he have a cell phone with him? Dog reveals what surveillance video has uncovered. I'm back with Dog the Bounty Hunter with the latest on the search for Brian Laundrie. Now, on the day that Brian's family says that they saw him last, he was reportedly seen on a store surveillance video buying a new cell phone with an older woman who many believe could be his mother. So, Dog, it really begs the question about just how much the parents know, and Cassie as well, and what they're sharing with investigators.
Well, absolutely, Dr. Oz. They, again, obviously know more than they're saying. And this lawyer is just that, a lawyer. And his job mostly is to flim-flam. And, again, Brian's sister got on Good Morning America and said, we haven't seen him at all. And then once we found out that she had been in the park, oh, yeah, that's a mistake. Oh, yeah, we did see him. Well, okay, you did see him. Now, what did you talk about? What was the main topic of the discussion that day? It wasn't catching fish. What did you plan? What did you talk about? And, it's just, they're obviously not telling the truth, Dr. Oz. So it's incredible because, like I told you before, a lot of parents don't tell you. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty and they know now that their son could die, somebody could shoot him, whether it be an officer or someone trying to do a citizen's arrest. It's time now that we say where he's at, bring him in, let a jury decide in Wyoming. Again, he is facing the death penalty in Wyoming, but there's a lot of certain factors that have to be proven to get the death penalty. So I'm hoping that, they call the lawyer calls the FBI, and they turn him in. And one thing, Dr. Oz, that I looked at, and we all looked at, is his Instagram posts. Now, if you'll look at them, there are pictures of what I would call demonic looking things. It looks like there's one with blood squirting out of the neck and blood squirting out of the mouth. And some of the books, Doc, that he has read are very, very dark. I mean, this kid was not in a very good state of mind before and certainly after this happened. Really, you should look at some of his posts. And again, the book, I'll send you the title later, the name of the book. It's like, wow, was he in that state of mind? And what I like to say is people that are in that state of mind, this was before the murder, what led to that murder? Well, look at what he was studying. Look at what he was reading. The Bible says, do not give place, do not give an inch, do not give a little light to the devil because he'll take advantage. So those kind of pictures and that kind of book led to murder.
Oh my goodness. I did not realize that. The attorney, by the way, just getting back to him, confirms the Laundries bought Brian a new phone that day, the one we just mentioned. But they say that he says that Brian left it behind when he went on the hike and that the FBI has it now. And the Laundries have not addressed what happened to the old phone. And the attorney says he could not speculate on why Brian bought a new one. I mean, there's so many questions here, Dog. And as you point out, it just seems like people know more than they're sharing. If Brian is alive, do you believe he has a phone with him?
I believe he has some form, yes, sir, of communication. And I do not believe Brian is deceased or dead. I believe that Brian is not well because this is some tough area out there. And so is the Appalachian Mountains. But they do have more information. Let's just get over it and say, what area he's in and get this, put to rest. I know every time they hear an ambulance or a siren, every time the parents hear that, is that Brian? Is that Brian? So, let's quit the speculation. That could be Brian. They could be picking him up. Somebody shot him. Let's get him alive and let him go to trial in Wyoming and let's get this over with. Because if not, they might be attending another funeral.
Coming up, footage of Brian Laundrie trying to joke around with cops. Dog's message for the fugitive today. I'm back with Dog the Bounty Hunter talking about the search for Gabby Petito's missing fiance, Brian Laundrie. So, Dog, I'm going to go back to the Utah incident between Brian and Gabby because authorities have also released new footage, brand new footage of him that day. So after Gabby told authorities that she hit Brian first, they determined that she was the primary aggressor and that she'd have to spend the night in jail if they couldn't find two separate places for the couple to sleep. So I want everyone to take a look at how Brian attempts to joke around with the police officers at the scene.
So she's kind of in a tough spot. So unless you have an idea about how she can not go to jail and be separated, do you have friends in town? Somewhere she can stay? Tomorrow, if you want to, it's up to you. You can go
to jail?
You can't because we don't have a charge for you. Now tomorrow, if you wanted to be with her again tomorrow.
I'm going to take the radio.
If you want to be with her again.
So the police ultimately took Brian to a hotel. Gabby spent the night alone in their van. But it's starting to see him joke around about stealing an officer's radio compared to how distraught Gabby appears and clearly was. So, Dog, what instincts does this give you into Brian's personality?
Well, Brian was scared when they pulled him over because he, is the male in the domestic violence. Usually the male is the aggressor and who goes to jail. So I can see his demeanor is like scared when he's talking and they've got her in a car. And then when the police officer said, well, we know she started it, he relaxed. And his paranoia went away and his fear of being arrested. So he just started joking. Now, I also heard that from very good sources that he was, not a very violent guy, that his tendencies were not like that. He was a polite, I heard the word gentleman. So once he realized, I'm not on the hook anymore, I'm not going to jail, then, he was relieved. So first thing comes out after relief is a joke.
Do you think he was manipulating what was happening, or is he really gentle?
Well, I think that he was not manipulating, Dr. Oz, because I don't think, they've released me now I'll kill her. I don't think that he planned this murder, where I'm going to call it straight up, I don't think he planned that. I think something led him into it.
So, Doug, I'm going to give you the last word here. If Brian's alive and he sees this interview, what's your message for him now? I bet he's watching.
Well, Brian, if you're live, and I know you are, and you see this, I will do what I can to help you. And I will, number one, bring you in alive, and I will stay in contact with your parents. I know your lawyer doesn't like me, but I will do anything I can do to help you. And that's my MO. That's what I do for a living. Besides hunt you down and capture you, I'll stick with you.
That's why you're Dog the Bounty Hunter. Thanks for spending time with us. Go out there and catch the guy.
Thank you, Dr. Oz, for your prayers, sir. Thank you.
God bless you. I'm going to remind everyone that as of this taping, Brian Laundrie is a person of interest in Gabby Petito's disappearance. He's only been charged with illegally using a debit card between August 30th and September 1st. So if you know anything about his whereabouts, you can reach law enforcement directly at the number on your screen now or by going to fbi.gov/Petito. And if you're hesitant to speak to the law, folks, the dog also has a wonderful tip line. It's 1-833-TELL-DOG.